oh, you just cooked the worst pass defense in Division One. Yeah, we kind of expected you to. It's almost one of those situations where only bad things can happen if he plays. He either gets hurt or he has an off game, and then everyone's kind of scratching their heads.
To your point, you were talking about having the good tape out there. I made this case earlier in the day. I was having this discussion with somebody. What was Kenny Pickett's bad game this season? He didn't really have a bad game. It was more, maybe the least flashy or least successful by comparison. But he actually played consistently well for 13 games this year. So what if he plays the one and the one really sours the 13 that preceded it?
I mean, I think if I was going to identify a quote-unquote bad game, the Miami game, because he missed some throws that probably win them the game, and he usually wouldn't. But he came right back and played several more really good games. So, yeah, right. I mean,
and it's
he
bad
just
by
hasn't
comparison,
put a bad
really.
game to your point, I mean, he hasn't really put a bad game on tape this year. It's been the story of consistency. He's gone into hostile environments in the SEC, Tennessee on the road. He's taken Clemson's best punch at home, and Clemson was pretty obviously, I think in retrospect, the second best team in the ACC this year. And he beat them and did enough to beat them and looked pretty good doing it. Looked like the best player on the field. So I just think it's beneficial for him now to make a business decision. And here's the thing. I think the public sort of opinion on this, at least the opinion I hear, maybe you're hearing from different people, I think the worm has sort of turned in the right direction here, where if it's a guy who's hugely accomplished, even though most quarterbacks really haven't done this because the highest profile ones, the first round guys are usually playing, frankly, in the college football playoff or like the Rose Bowl.
Right.
I think that most fans of most schools understand the business decision that these first round type guys have to make and don't begrudge them like risking their careers on what's fundamentally a meaningless game. I know you'll know this name. Like, nobody wants to see another Marcus Lattimore type situation,
Yep.
right? With any of these guys, Pickett or anybody else. You don't want to see a guy that's an obvious NFL talent tear up a knee in a game he didn't have to be playing in.
Willis McGahee, well, granted, that was a national championship game. Jake Butt, the tight end from Michigan, comes to mind, the name notwithstanding, but he's one that comes to mind. Guys that have gotten hurt during those bowl games, and it severely affects their draft stock. I mean, granted, you can make the argument that it's like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in a million, but the question is, what if he's that one? All it takes is for him to be that one, and it changes everything. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, I want to talk about T.J. Watt. He's the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. I want to talk about that honor for him. Also want to take your phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. See you back here in a minute.